Hi everybody, it's David Fleming here from the Toronto Realty Group, and welcome back to this week's Pick 5. Now we are in September, the kids are back in school, the older kids have gone away to school, many of them for the very first time, which is probably leaving a lot of sad parents as the child goes off to college or university. And my oldest is 8, so trust me when I say in 10 years, I will be right there with you. But it got me thinking about all of these kids 18, 19, that are going off on their own for the very first time. And of course, as I do, my trip down memory lane made me think about when I went to first year and I made that life-altering decision to not live in residence and meet other people and party. And I decided to move into a very small one-bedroom apartment by myself in Hamilton, Ontario. Well, that was then. This is now, and we're in the season where a lot of these kids are moving out on their first time, whether they're in a residence, whether they're in an apartment, whether they're in a condo. And of course, in September, we see a big influx, at least in our business, of people that are looking to buy their very first place. Now, you talk about moving out on your own for the very first time. Yes, it usually starts with going away to school. For example, I didn't know it takes 40 minutes to cook a chicken breast in the oven. Boy, did that taste really bad after about 5 minutes. The very first time I tried to cook. But you learn how to write checks. Wait, no one does that anymore. They have online payments. Enough about 1998. 27 years later, I want to look today at a bunch of condos that didn't exist when I moved out on my own on the very first time. I mean, heck, my first condo I bought in 2005, most of these didn't even exist back then. But so many folks choose the month of September to look for their very first place. And whether it's because they were used to going back to school, or used to going out on their own in university. That is what I'm finding already. The phone is starting to ring. We've got a couple of young people. And in fact, that was the impetus for this Pick 5 today, was somebody that said, I want to get out. This person won't leave too much information about them, but grew up on the east side, want to buy a condo on the east side, don't want to be in downtown. Show me what's available. And that is exactly what we're going to do today. So let's go to the map here, folks. And the theme today is 5 under 5. Maybe that's what we'll call it. 5 condos under 500,000. And no, I did not know how to cook chicken when I moved out on my own. I was 18 years old. I would think that these condos, based on the size, the locations, I'm going to typecast and say, these are for those young people, not 18 years old like I was, but maybe 23, 24, 25. Don't want to typecast. But we didn't necessarily need all that space that we had. My first condo was 585 square feet. Some of the ones we're going to look at today are under 500 square feet. Condos have been made smaller, and the absolute price is still up there for some of these when you look at the price per square foot. So let's take a look at our 5 properties. We looked at it on the map. Here is our table view. And as I said, 5 under 5, but the absolute price compared to the relative price, let's let the cat out of the bag, guys. The lowest price per square foot we're looking at today is $800, and the highest is pushing $1,200 a square. So we're going to start here with 45 Connaught. I'm going to show you where this is on the map. We're sort of Leslieville here. The folks that live here are going to be like, what do you mean sort of? Well, if we were to zoom out, and I will do that a little bit more, as we see the sewage treatment playground, my favorite Google Maps joke. I don't know who's playing in sewage, but this over here is prime Leslieville. In fact, if we were to go, we'll see how big my screen is here. If we were to go all the way to Broadview and Queen, and you see how far this one is, tell me again that this is Leslieville. Prime Leslieville, not so sure. So what you do have down here is the TTC rail yard. You've got the main sewage treatment playground. You've got a lot of self-storage. You've got some of the film studios. It's not like the stretch of Queen that is. And again, I'm not the youngest, hippest person, as is evidenced by my stories from today, but all the infrastructure that you want, all of your restaurants, right? And here's your pizza, and I'm sure there's a nice coffee place. This is really what you want. We're down here on Connaught, so you're walking. And that's fine because you have 2 legs and I'm typecasting. You're young. Come on, get out. Be flexible. Now scroll down here, guys. 524 square feet. That's a phenomenal square footage for only $419,000. You're young. You're moving out for your very first time. You can maintain life in 524 square feet. Now that is $800 a square foot. This building has not been registered yet. You can see here, 0 maintenance fees, 0 taxes. This is a newer building, and this is sort of main level, sort of almost quasi lower level. I'll show you here the back of the building. You can see, right, you've got units here on the base, and that's basically why these are so cheap. But this is a new mid-rise building. I don't know how many units this is. It feels like maybe it's 20, 30 units. It's not huge. Okay, you don't love carpet, that's fine, you can take it out. But as a first place, I had carpet in my place. Where was it? It was on King Street in Hamilton. But as a first place, not bad. Nice kitchen, nice open concept space, man. I would have killed for this for my first place. Nicely upgraded bathroom. And again, these are basic finishes, but you've got a balcony. My second place in university, I had a balcony. It overlooked the football field at the local Hamilton High School, and I used to watch the high school kids play football. It was amazing. It was the coolest thing. Now, here you go. From the front of the building, you can see, not huge, 4 stories, very cute little condo, not registered yet. The one thing I will say about a condo of this size is you've got to be aware that you're not going to have your big property management company. You're not going to have your $4 million in the reserve fund. So with a smaller building comes upside, but also comes question marks. What if something happens to the roof? What if the underground parking garage has an issue? It's going to be split, what, 20 ways instead of 600? But I think as far as a first place goes, guys, $419,000 is so cheap for, again, on an absolute basis. $800 per square foot is pretty low on a relative basis. But see here, a 0 bedroom. This is your condo. It is a big open concept space, living, dining, kitchen, bed, whatever you want to make of it. For some people, that'll rub them the wrong way. For others, they'll just say, hey, absolute price is great. Relative price is great. It's brand new. It's never been lived in. Yes, you're going to buy this on builder forms. Yes, you're going to have a lawyer look over the agreement of purchase and sale. You want to make sure there's no hidden closing costs. You want to ask about the occupancy period, the occupancy fees, whether or not you're paying that phantom mortgage. I don't sell pre-construction. I don't love the idea of buying something that's not yet registered. But if you were to do everything right here, good real estate agent, fantastic lawyer, I think this here is an opportunity. So the next unit, all on the east side today, this is 1630 Queen Street. So let's go to our map and you can see that this is, well, it's east of Coxwell, but where's Woodbine? Woodbine's over here. So 1630, you start to think, is that beach? No, that's sort of into the 1800s, into the over 2000s. So this one here is actually not too far from Connaught, where we just looked. It's near our sewage treatment playground. Oh man, they removed it. Oh, there it is. It popped back up. Thank you. So Woodbine Park. If you were a skater boy when you were younger, maybe you're familiar with that, or girl. So this one too is sort of in that location that's like, where am I? What's around here? I could go up to Dundas, fish and chips, great. No, I could go up to Dundas, still not a lot of infrastructure here. The stretch of Dundas that has a lot of the infrastructure, or Gerrard, let's say, I'm really getting out of here now, right? But up at Gerrard, Vatican Gift Shop, I've been there. I believe my team dragged me there kicking and screaming after we went out for dinner one night. And I think I sat in the corner alone and read sports scores on my phone while everyone danced. I was having a good time. So yes, there's a lot of young, hip stuff up at Gerrard, same with Dundas, and specifically, as we mentioned down here, on Prime Queen Street. But if you're over at 1630 Queen, you're pretty far away from that. You can walk to it, it's no problem, you're a young person, but of course you're paying less because of that specific location. Now, I've always liked this building. We've got 2 clients that actually live here. This was built in 2021. It's only 89 units, and this particular unit is $448,999. Let's scroll down here, guys. 559 square feet. So that's only $803 a square. That's a pretty good price. And again, when you look at this and you think about moving out on your own for the very first time, I think about my client that reached out and said, grew up in the beaches, finished university, 23 years old, want to get my own place, don't need a lot, would love to have 500 square feet, 450 is fine, don't need a parking space, don't care about a locker because I got my parents' place. I don't want to be downtown. It's too busy. And frankly, I'm going to walk or bike to work or take the TTC. Want to be close enough to the parents, want to be close to where I grew up. I don't know that you could do better than the 5 properties that we're looking at today. 5 under 500,000. I would have killed for this for my very first place. I lived above a shoe store. Yeah, it was amazing though. It was amazing. So here you go. Not much to write home about with this one because the photos show a unit that is not staged or virtually staged, but it's got a nice little terrace. It's open air, right? It's down by the movie theater. Decent building, right? As I said, how many units? 89. 89 units, that's not bad amenities for 89 units, right? This is your party room. So your unit might not be huge, but you know what? If you want to have people over, rent the party room. I think party rooms are so underutilized in condos these days. So you're not going to find any of these units that have a parking space. I will say $510 a month. That's a lot considering it's 559 square feet. Quick math in my head, I'd say it's, I don't know, 92 to 94 cents a square foot. My maintenance fees when I bought my first condo, and again, we're going back to '05, they were $299. And they included everything. So price of real estate's gone up. our taxes have gone up, our heat, our hydro, our water's gone up, so too have our fees. Now the next one, guys, this is a great building. It's called the Wonder Lofts, the Wonder condominiums. It's the old bread factory. And if you're like me, you're old enough to remember, when you used to walk down there, I'd be on showings, you're trying to focus, you're like, this is an Edwardian, it was built in 1918, and all of a sudden you're overcome with the aroma of freshly baked bread. Yes, down at 150 Logan, that was the bread factory, and I kid you not, you could smell fresh bread when you walked by. Now this is a building that was finished in 2023. It's 7 stories, it's 283 units, and you know what? It's 498,000, and guys, look at this. It's only 469 square feet, which is of course 1,061 a square. So I don't love the relative price, our price per square foot, but if you're moving out on your own and you're looking for under 500K, this is pretty cool. I really like this building. So here, again, not a huge spot. This is your living, dining, kitchen. My first place at McMaster, you ate in front of the TV, right? You're a single guy, you're 18 years old. I had a kitchen table. I didn't need a dining table. I don't know if you need a dining room table. This would be me in 2005 in my condo. Sitting here, food here, TV here. That's it. But if you want a dining room table, you're probably gonna have to push over 500 square feet. This is 469. So there you go, there's the little table, the little bistro set. This is like what I had at Mac, where I put my checkbook, because I learned how to write checks at 18 years old. You paid everything by check. Paid your hydro by check. Mail them that check. Paid your water by check. Don't like the pillars, as you know. So decent space in the bedroom. You'd like to be able to fit a queen. You have your own laundry. That's another thing young people often ask, like, am I gonna get my own laundry? Every condo has laundry in it. The last time I sold a condo that had no laundry was at 705 King, the Summit. Every condo is gonna have laundry. Laundry, dishwasher, air conditioning. Those are the 3 things they ask about. Although again, I'm gonna typecast and say that the younger generation wouldn't think to ask, because they would probably just assume that it's included, right? Oh, you don't have a dishwasher and laundry and air conditioning? So nice terrace outside. I gotta say, for a $498,000 unit, it's 469 square feet. That's phenomenal outdoor space. Can you barbecue? Probably not. Can you barbecue? Depends on how much you value not getting caught or fined. But here you go. You see the nice big terrace. And I mentioned, of course, look, you've got a big barbecue here, so you could do that if you wanted to. But I mentioned, of course, really great amenities here. There's a unit in this building I've been eyeing for a client. It's been on the market for 4 months, priced aggressively high. We're just sitting, we're waiting. Well, that's a dog wash, I'm going to assume. I don't know what it is otherwise. Again, typecasting the developers like, you know what young people like? Dogs. Let's put a dog wash in the amenities. So the amenities are really good here. They didn't photograph all of them, but they've got like the common room on the main floor. The client that I was showing in there was like, you know what? That's cool. I'd probably go in there and work. I'm like, you got 1,500 square feet upstairs? And she was like, well, maybe like meet some new people or whatever. I'm like, wow, okay. Yeah, the communal area, it works. Now, last week we did a pick 5 on old buildings in Toronto, old like me from the 1980s. One of the things I talked about was the community aspect. And I talked about the amount of amenities and how in a lot of the newer buildings, it's all renters and no one cares or respects it. At a building like this, they've done a really good job of trying to create this community feel. And every time I've been to this building, that main floor common area has been full of people. So there you go. Now, I like that one a lot. Again, it was 1,061 a square. This one, I don't know, George. Seinfeld. So this is $499,900. You can see price change here. So what were they at originally? $529,900. It's been on the market for 118 days, and it's only 427 square feet. So this is priced at, 1,170 a square. That's a lot. But if you look at the listing history, guys, and this is fascinating, you can see they were at $529,000, $549,000, $569,000. Well, they bought it for $541,000 in 2021. And I have sympathy for people that are selling at a loss. I don't want to say that I don't have sympathy for, but if you follow me here, markets go up and down. Market's gone up for more or less 20 years, I get it. But we peaked in 2021, 2022, and now here we are. So really sympathize with the person that is selling at a loss. I've had a lot of folks sell at losses this year. That's just the way that it is. But when you are buying real estate, you have to acknowledge that it is a market. It can go up and down. And we just so happen to be in a period right now, I think we're at the trough. We're in a period where this individual paid $541,000 for this unit. It's at $499,900. And I'm looking at this and saying, wow, that's a lot. $11.70 a square. Well, tell that to the person that bought it in 2021. So beautiful unit. I love this building. Now this is a 2014 building. It's 7 stories. It's 228 units. Again, I go back to the market peak. I'll never forget my client, won't name her. We sold her condo for $725,000, listed at $599. Had a bully offer, I believe, and then like 4 or 5 more bully offers joined in, and that was a 1-bedroom condo, albeit with parking. So at the peak, this was an absolutely red hot building. Now look at this thing, $499. I know it's only 427 square feet, but $499, you grew up in the beaches, or you grew up in East York or Danforth, this is your spot. I've got my cool brick wall, nice little balcony. Okay, how much dining room do I have? Well, I'm not sure. This does not feel like an 11-year-old building. Really good shape, right? You've got the inset bedroom. Some people are like, oh, I don't have a window. You know, what do I tell the young people? What do I tell anybody in this market? You got to make concessions. I've written blog posts on that. Real estate is all about concessions, compromises. There's a better word. So not huge. This is a double bed and it's pushed against the wall. So if you wanted a queen and you wanted nightstands on both sides for 2 people, it's going to take up the whole room. This you're not going to have room for. So again, 427 square feet. I mean, I can definitely feel it. You have teeny little hallway, teeny little inset bedroom, living, dining, kitchen. Bathrooms, you never shrink. You can't really have a micro toilet. I'd hope you wouldn't, or like a micro shower, a little sink. You could do like the stupid little sink. You know, like the airport, airplane sink. You go to someone's house and they've jammed a powder room on the main floor. You're washing your hands like this. You do not see those in condos. I like the fact that they don't shrink the bathrooms. They just shrink the rest of the space. So I love this one. I think that the relative price at $1,170 is a lot. If you look at when this sold, what it was bought for, you're getting a relative discount. I love the location here. This is prime Leslieville. So let me show you guys. I had mentioned, I'm going to zoom out here, made a lot of self-deprecating remarks about myself and how uncool I am. I don't go out on Queen or Gerrard, Vatican Gift Shop, etc. But what we do know is that Queen Street in Leslieville is where all the infrastructure is. In all seriousness, yeah, I do go to things there. And I do love it there. I live in Midtown. But this is an amazing section of the city. And Carlaw is home to a lot of condos. You could not find a better location. Here's Jimmy Simpson. And here's the train that kind of splits the 2 halves of prime Leslieville. And then once you get kind of, you know, past Jones, it's kind of, I wouldn't say it's anything bad. It's just less desirable. There's less infrastructure. You could not pick a better location than Colgate Street. This is A+ all the way. And then we kind of go back to, well, where were we over here? We were at Connaught and we were at 1630 Queen, etc. So Logan, I didn't do the map for, but I think you got the gist of that, right? It's on Logan at the base at Eastern, or maybe you didn't get the gist, but I remember where the smell of fresh bread was. And again, here's the train track that splits prime Jimmy Simpson, or splits Leslieville at Jimmy Simpson. Prime location right along here. And that's the Wonder Lofts. So the last one here, guys, I can't believe we're at 5 of 5 already. Now this one's not a Leslieville-esque place. This one's up at Danforth and Woodbine. So figure this out. Yeah, there's condos up here. But for the folks that grew up in, you know, a semi-on glebe home and they're looking to stay close to mom and dad, this building, you would think it's new. This was built in 2015. This is a 10-year-old building now. I cannot believe it. Now this building is 12 stories, 147 square feet. And 147 units at 513 square feet. Scroll down here and take a look. See, there we go, 513. This is $974 a square. I mean, the fees, $529 for 513. They're over $1 a square, but they include all the utilities, just like mine did in 2005 when I moved into my first place. So I like this unit. I think location-wise, great layout. It's great, right? You've got that center island that's turned into a dining table. You've got enough space here for both your couch, your nesting tables, your TV. Whenever you have a sliding door here, it's always hard to position the TV. I've seen a lot of really bad layouts that are kind of like this one. This one definitely works. Their photos are not in an order that I like. Let me skip ahead here. Get in the unit. There we go. Yeah, so as I mentioned, when you have a wall of glass with your living room and then a walkout, and then you walk through a sliding door to your bedroom, sometimes it's hard to place a TV. But here they've at least got the wall big enough that you can do so. You have your dining, albeit in the kitchen, your living, you've got a decent sized bedroom. As I mentioned, we never shrink the size of the bathroom, they're all the same. This is a fantastic layout. 513 square feet. I just showed you the one at Colgate that was 427. You can definitely feel the difference. Now the location is different, of course. I think most people would rather be on Colgate and prime Leslieville than at Woodbine and Danforth, but this is right on the TTC line. So you've got that going for you. There is a ton of infrastructure up at Woodbine and Danforth. Now, prime Danforth, ask anybody that grew up in Riverdale or grew up in Plater Estates, I always hate the photos of the water running, and you're like, yeah, no, the faucet pours water. So prime Danforth is, Broadview out to what, Logan, somewhere in there. This is still a really good stretch. And if you're a young person, you're walking to everything, or taking the TTC, can't afford a car because you bought a condo, you're walking out, that's a really big closet. You would not expect to find that in an entry-level condo. But yeah, you're walking out to groceries or whatever, fresh fruits and vegetables. If you're the kind of person that shops every couple of days, you're walking out to coffee. You are walking out here to a ton, another photo of the faucet. Yes, it pours water. You're walking out to a ton of amenities. And you have your own washer dryer, of course. And there, Dollarama, what's not to like? Huge Dollarama fan. Every young person everything you do should be a Dollarama. There you go. They sell food at Dollarama. I mean, seriously. Okay, amenities are good. Now this, as I mentioned, was 12 stories, 147 units. Really good amenities for a small building like this. Party room. I think that when you see a building that's only 147 units, you might expect that it's a really stripped down, no amenity building. There's your gym. Like, they've done a good job here. So for a young person, 499,000, 513 square feet, amenities, location, TTC, layout, and guess what? Parking. I said you're not going to have parking, you can't afford it, but this one has parking. So ironically, right, 974 per square foot, you back out 40,000 for parking, or if that's what it's worth, and all of a sudden this is a $460,000 unit. This one potentially jumps to the top of my list. So there you have it, guys. Lots of jokes about young folks, but I will say that they're starting to get back into the condo market. I think there's a lot of fear, obviously, when you roll off of a pricing peak and you see prices come down. It's been 3.5 years since the peak price in February of 2022, and we're starting to see some of the younger, braver would-be condo buyers, not investors, but the end users that are coming in and saying, okay, so this would have cost me $600 and now I can get it for $499. Sure. And it's not for everybody, obviously. And again, some folks want to live downtown, or some folks want to rent, they want to live with roommates, or they want to wait until they find a partner and go buy a house together. But as far as entry-level units goes, on the east side, 5 units under $500,000, I can make a fantastic argument for all 5 of these, why they're good value, why you'd be happy in that area, and why these units themselves have a lot to offer for a young first-time buyer. Well, that's it for me for this week, folks. Thank you so much for watching. As always, really hope you enjoyed this look at 5 condos under $500,000. And if you enjoy Pick 5 and you want to have it emailed to you automatically every week, please go ahead and sign up and we will do exactly that. Guys, thanks for watching. Have a fantastic weekend and we'll see you next week. Bye for now.